The story begins in 1986 in Glasgow, Scotland. There we meet sisters Angela and Jackson Sears. They are professional scammers who make their money by scamming people. Their target is usually people who believe their houses are haunted. They work with two others, Elliot, photographer, and broadcast owner Jackson. Together, they act as a paranormal investigation team. Jackson is the mastermind behind everything. He is drowning in debt and under pressure to make money quickly. He comes up with a plan to take advantage of their deceased mother's reputation. In the past, she was known to be a famous spiritual medium. Now they claim that Angela inherited her ability. It represents that she is communicating with spirits. Their method is very smart. Elliot records everything, while Jackson and Beth are coming from another place. They use fake devices. They secretly play whispers and strange sounds, because the topic appears real. In the end, Angela pretends that she chased the spirit, and they take a decent amount. One day, they take a new case from a man named Frank. His wife Maddie is still dead soon. He lives with his little daughter Susie. After Maddie died, Frank began hearing voices. He sees strange illusions in the house. And for the team, of course, this is a very easy insult, because Frank is already emotionally affected. I don't know if something is wrong. Angela interviews Frank to collect details about Maddie. They know that she was a seamstress, and you work more expensive in the basement. They decide to focus on this area. They say they detected energy there. Angela and Elliot go downstairs. What was dark and full of old mannequins. This makes him really terrifying. Angela pretends to be communicating with the spirit. Elliot plays recorded sounds, including a semi-physical sound. Frank is very affected. It is clear that he is actually communicating with his wife. In the end, Angela does a fake exorcist session, and you say that the spirit has departed, and Frank pays them. But before they leave, Angela is experiencing a strange need. She is still in the basement. She felt attracted to one of the mannequins. For a moment, it felt like Maddie was there, and she's getting close. Suddenly, she fell, and her nostrils began to bleed. Elliot checks on her, but Angela doesn't talk much. I assumed this was just part of their trick. Tonight, the team is celebrating at nightclub, and Jackson is advertising their work, using their mother's name. This is in my hands, Angela. Their mother's life was tragic. She suffered from disturbing visions. She even spent time in a psychological space. However, Angela is continuing with this work, for the sake of her brother in debt. Then Angela asks Elliot about the mannequin incident, but he denies that he did any trick like this. At home, Angela sits looking back at pictures of her old mother. And the second day, in the morning, she was already agitated and upset. She gets a phone from a terrified woman. She says she heard children's voices in her house. And I want to help. But when Angela hears the place, her features change. And stay serious. This place is an old shelter. There are 3 children who died under mysterious circumstances years ago. Angela rejects the case. At this time, Angela's personal life began. She was falling apart. She was absent from college lectures. Her level is delayed. And when the dean directed her, Angela admitted that she was doing this job for the money. During speech, Angela suddenly heard someone calling her name. She opened the door and started moving on her own. The door opened slowly. She saw a man with a red hand. I was shocked. But then the dean noticed that her nostrils were bleeding. This means that Angela was the only one who saw this. She is confused and afraid. Angela walked over and went to visit. She tried to ask about her mother, but he was avoiding the topic. In the end, he confessed that Angela had died. She was also hearing voices. And you see things that are not real. This shook Angela too. She began to fear that she was walking on the same track. After that, Angela searched for the shelter. And I knew that the children who lived there, they went through a terrible need. Their death was not natural. When I returned home, the situation was tense. When Angela came back, moment of injuries on Jackson's face. Clear signs that the thugs have them. They took his money so he wouldn't waste it. Debts. Jackson questioned her about why she rejected the client. We need money very much. Angela explained that this place felt dangerous. And there is something wrong. But Jackson only cared about money. He had agreed to settle the case. Because the woman is exposed to a large sum of money. Angela refused at first. But Jackson kept putting pressure on her. Until I agreed in the end. Broadcast was tired of their way in life and want to leave everything behind. And a new life begins. But Jackson convinced her too. He promised her that this would be her last job. He paid off all his debts after that. Tonight to Angela. I had a bad dream about her turban. This time it was without hesitation. I woke up terrified and went downstairs. She told Jackson she was ready for the job. This made him happy. A little later, the team traveled to the place. They arrived in the area with Zola. There is a lasting and silent refuge in it. At the gate, he was met by an old man. His name is Victor, the guard. And he is the one who entered them inside. There he met Madame Green, who welcomed them warmly. I explained to them that this shelter was running her husband. They were both interested in children. But after her husband died, everything was fine. It slowly started to fall apart. In the end, a tragic incident happened. And 3 little girls. They met dead then. Jackson opened the issue of spending money. But as long as Green said it clearly, she will not be paid until after the work is finished. Angela, who was? He said I originally asked Madame Green. What does she see at home now? As long as Green explained that it was. At first, she heard children laughing. And quiet voices at night. But over time, these voices changed. I shouted, and angry voices. The important thing is after that. The team started preparing its equipment. Elliot prepares the camera and broadcast exactly the sound effects. Angela is getting ready to act. The role of the spiritual medium. This time, they made plans in particular. They used children's voices. There is laughter, crying, and whispering. To make the issue go further, Angela asked for pictures. As long as Green showed them pictures. The 3 daughters are Missy and Tammy. And Claire also saw them. A portrait of her son Herman was painted. She wasn't interested in you. This is why he remains a person. Danger, and here the truth is revealed. It was Herman who was saved. On these girls and Madame Green. Very sad about that, though. She had never seen her son as a monster. Why did he stay? This is what we will know later. Jackson Bellevue. I explore the building while the team. He discusses their usual plan. They will see where they will make the fake votes. When will this be a reaction? How can they be convinced if they are already green? But through all of this, he became an angel. Suddenly, I felt a strange need. Next to the stairs, she saw a little girl. By humming in a low voice. The first thing she saw was Angela's nostrils. She started bleeding again, and it happened quickly. The bathroom and Elliot are behind her. Angela's faces tried to calm themselves. But I heard some strange noises again. She slowly started opening each bathroom. Alone, as if there was someone hidden there, and then suddenly Elliot appeared. With the strength of Messi's thread. When Angela saw this, she lost consciousness. Elliot immediately called out to Jackson and Beth, and they all ran at her. After a while, he passed away. But she avoided talking about what she saw. She simply said, "It's good, the team did their job normally." At the same time, as long as green. I asked Jackson how. Their work is already done. Jackson tried to explain confidently. With a fake story, but among those who responded. She did it, she already knew. It's all a scam. However, she is still their employer. This raises suspicions. At that time, Angela and Elliot were in another part of the house. Elliot tried to make Angela talk. He told her that he had seen a real need. and he trusts her. He also admitted that he liked her. This made Angela smile. At this moment, they received instructions. They completed, and Elliot started recording again. And in another moment, Jackson and broadcast. As long as they are green, they will monitor everything. On screens while Jackson. He is trying to understand how Angela will be expelled. My soul and Angel are moving. In a different part of the house. She calls girls' names. She says she came because Green wanted. Let them leave this place. Now Angela heard music. But Elliot didn't hear anything. Then Elliot heard a little girl laughing. He walked after the sound. They are moving forward. She gave her voice to him. Angela saw another soul who wanted Angela to walk after her. It was clear that she was trying again. Show her something. Again, I took them towards the east wing. The same place as long as Green. I warned them to come closer to him. As long as Green threw. She asked Jackson to return them. But his Angel got bored and kept walking. Behind again. They were walking forward. Elliot suddenly fell through. Weak wooden floor. Everyone got scared. And Jackson ran to check on him. Elliot said his leg was injured and frozen. And I need a hospital. But Jackson still remembers that this is a part. Assimilated. He is hesitant to ask for help. Angela is firmly designed. They must help him. Jackson and Angela came down. Using a ladder. Elliot was in pain. And Angela tried to guide him. They are there. They noticed something annoying. Walls covered with words. Help me. And children's belongings. Thrown everywhere. From here, Angela realized. The girls were locked in this basement. The story of Madame Giron. She was lying. And that's why Tammy. She brought it here. At the same time. Elliot camera. She was still attached. And everything is recorded. And as long as Giron. She was watching. I knew they were done. They knew the truth. Jackson still didn't understand. Angela told him clearly. This time she is not acting. She could actually see souls. She walked behind Tammy. Until here. Even described the stitched lioness. As she had read, I would do that. Elliot believed her. But Jackson. I still don't take the matter seriously. Now they're trying to get Elliot out. Jackson still wants. He finishes the job. But Angela refused. She believed that she was in dire need. It happened to girls. And she doesn't want to continue. In this whole monument. And all over the house. Girls' whispers. It was audible. But no one can hear them. Change his angelhood. Jackson then went to Madame Green. He tried to convince her that they would clean the house. But Madame Green. She said it to his face. She knows that this is all an act. Angela doesn't have any real vegetables. I ordered them to walk. Then she said something annoying. She says that she wanted to give birth to these girls. Good life. But they didn't hear the words. And nothing happened. It was Herman's fault. Everything was a mistake for the girls only. When he heard this, Jackson realized. Angela was right. Madame Green is in charge. Beth said, and the rest took care of their needs. Because they must leave immediately. The strange thing is that Beth was not in the room. Everything was in vain. As if something happened to her. This is Jackson's fear. And here Jackson himself saw Tammy's death. And get shocked. Before I had any reaction. Angela called me by radio. Jerry to help them. It helped Elliot's aspiration. Because Elliot was in so much pain. Then Angela found Beth's chain. There is blood on it. And Jackson holds the chain. The spirit of a girl appeared before him. Angela was shocked. Jackson is also able to see them now. Now they are very attached to Beth. Jackson said to Angela and Elliot. They walk and he goes looking for her. Jackson started. He even hears strange noises. He saw his death, but he tried. It all makes him crazy. He found Beth, but her condition was terrifying. She had major injuries. And the rest of it was stitched. She was in severe pain and could not speak. Jackson realized that Madame Green. She is the one behind all this. They tried to escape in Arabic. Everyone was terrified. On the way, Jackson saw another soul. But he didn't stop. Suddenly, Need banged Arab. It turns out he banged Victor. Inside him, he loses control and the Arabic language starts to speak. And Beth died in the event. Angela lost consciousness. Jackson was crying next to Beth. I can't believe what's happening. Suddenly, someone attacked him from behind. And he fainted. That was Herman. Herman then attacked Elliot with Grove. Angela was already unconscious. Then Angela woke up. When she saw Beth, she was devastated. She called out to Jackson, but he wasn't there. She ran to Elliot and tried to wake up. When I asked about Jackson, Elliot said Herman took him. Angela then returned home. On the way, she saw the spirit of a girl. And I walked after her. Joa, Herman, and Madame Green. They were tied to Jackson. Why is it healthy as long as Green revealed her sick thinking? She said that her mother was making her a monster. But she wanted to. Suitable for girls. Since they were talking a lot. They were lack of manners. She silenced them by saying that she had sewed their lions. Now she is planning to do the same thing. With Jackson. His teeth started getting shorter. And get ready to sew his lioness. At this time, Angela entered the house, looking around. But Herman caught her, and she fainted again. When she woke up, she was tied next to Jackson. When she saw his condition, she was shocked. She apologized to him that she did not save him. Jackson shook his head, as a sign that it was his idea. They come here. As long as Green told Herman. He takes Jackson away. This means that they will finish it. At the same time, the souls of the three girls were between. They watch everything. Now, as long as Green is starting to do the same thing with Angela. And at that moment, Elliot arrived. He warned them that they would make her walk. Herman Muska. But before he can do anything, Elliot used a sharp instrument and stopped it. As long as Green collapsed from that. But she attacked Elliot and hit him hard. Angela felt helpless. She no longer knows what to do. She called on the spirits of the girls to help her. Suddenly the girls' spirits screamed. Very loudly. As long as Green was frightened and held her head. This is an opportunity for Angela to redeem herself. I caught Sakina. And in the threat as long as it's Green. Then the souls disappeared. And Elliot is still alive. Angela ran to him while she was tired. She told him that she would get help. I ran out towards the road. There she saw Jackson and called him. But I quickly realized that this was his soul. This means that Jackson died. Jackson said he was looking for a broadcast. But I didn't find her. She was heartbroken and collapsed. I sat down and obeyed a little later. An Arab stood and two passers-by. They came to help her. Then we see Angela and Elliot in the hospital. They both survived. But the shock was evident in them. In the end, Angela talks to her father. He told, and that she could be like her mother. But Angela tells him not to worry. She is not alone. We feel that something is still there with her. And so the movie ends. We meet in a new summary. Thank you for watching.